and welcome back to another edition of On the Line Talk with Catalina and Captain Spaulding. We are going to be reviewing and discussing our points of views as well as likes, dislikes, things like that on the John Wayne Gacy Devil in Disguise documentary. Um, so let's just jump right in and get started.
So I don't like the way that, unlike with the Ed Gein case, it okay. So Ed Gein said on several occasions that okay, well, you found out that I did it, so I did it. John Wayne Gacy wants to tell about all the good things that he did and cover up all the bad.
Which I agree. I do like the fact that he did set up this interview himself. He talked to a guy that had actually been writing him for a while he was in prison and asking him about doing this interview and hey, let's get together, let's try to make this happen, and finally Gacy was just like, okay, contact this person. And Gacy actually emailed him instead of email because it was still what in the 90s.
Yeah, it was like
He was in the
93,
90s when this happened. I'm not even
92, 93.
92, 93, I believe. So I mean, there was emails, but not in the prison system yet. So,
Yeah, unlike nowadays, the prisoners did not get iPhones and tablets
which
and
is completely crazy to me. Like, why would they want to come out? Why don't
they
we
have
all just
everything.
commit murders and shit like that so we can go get our own iPhones and yeah, you might get raped every now and then, but hey, it's worth it. You got everything else you want. Free meals and a place to sleep.
Shit, they get cable now
Yeah,
in their
which is
cells.
fucking crazy. Fucking
Anyway,
crazy.
back on the subject.
But yeah, Gacy's the one that was like, yeah, I'll set it up, and he set it up, and he made it happen. Even though Warden was like, okay, yeah, sure, whatever. And the guy's like, well, as soon as they got in there, he's like, so can we have Gacy not handcuffed? And the warden looked at
Prison guard.
the guard, and the guard looked at him, and they were like, kind of exchanged looks at least 3 or 4 times at max. And I was like, yeah, I guess so. There's no crawl space. He can't do anything with y'all sitting right there. So yeah, why not? I mean, fair enough. But as far as his body count goes, his body count is actually 33. Um, and before the body count was even a thing, he actually had been in jail. Actually, not even in jail. It was a
Prison.
prison, but it was a rehabilitation prison. Actually stated on the building, a rehabilitation prison for these inmates. Well, he went to jail for supposedly, and we don't. And see, here's where the muddy waters kind of. This is where the water gets mucky. Let's put it that way. They he's Geen says he was being blackmailed by this guy's son, this politician, and that it was all politics. And he didn't touch the boy, and nothing. He didn't
Oh no,
sodomize
he admitted
anybody.
that they were doing things. They were
Yeah, but
having
it was
sexual
consensual.
exactly.
No, that's where you're misunderstanding what I just said. No, I said he said that he was being blackmailed by the boy for
Mhm.
politic reasons.
Right.
Not that he admitted that, yes, they were doing something, but it was consensual. I hadn't got there yet.
Oh.
Yeah, so that one, no, 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 no. Don't put words in my mouth on that one. No, no, no. No, I was getting there. But yeah, totally, you are right. It was consensual from what he says.
Right. But from what the 16-year-old boy says, it was not consensual.
And he just happened to be the son of this really what, this politician's son.
Hmm. Yeah, from the okay. So John Wayne Gacy is Democrat. The son was from the Republican side. So that's where he says, "Oh well, it was all consensual. He was just saying that because then it'd make his dad look better."
No, well, they wanted to make him look bad because he was running in the same thing for the
Right.
same thing in the same group of people. It was a group of people. It wasn't really even. It really wasn't like, oh, for president or mayor or anything like that. It was a stepping stone because he did want to run for mayor and he did want to get up there to be in the running for a president. Could you imagine having a president with that kind of that scandal coming out on the United
Right.
States? Oh my god, what would happen if he would actually been in office when that happened? That was just like a light bulb, like holy fucking shit. It's kind of like Bill Clinton. I did not have sexual relations with that woman, but yet she has your semen on her blue dress. Figure that one out. But anyways, I mean, with a wife like Hillary, wouldn't we all cheat? I think I would. Because that bitch look like she got some sticks that definitely need to be unplugged from her butthole. Just
For
saying.
real.
She has a stone face. And yes, his first interview, Gacy's first interview, was actually on May 4th, 1992. So, yes, that was definitely way before email was a big popular thing. And, everybody still used the whole snail mail, which is, UPS, our postal services, da 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 da, that bullshit. Uh, December It was in December 1978 when bodies were found. And what started the whole. Okay, here's what throws me off about the whole thing. Okay. The only reason they were ever looking at Gacy is because he kind of did a stupid thing. He
Right.
kind of got too cocky, but he could have. I mean, really, honestly, they really didn't have anything on him. And they literally had to fucking find pieces of the puzzle. And to me, what started this all was a boy had went missing. A Robert. Uh,
P- P- Pieced. Pieced. Yeah. Robert Pieced.
I'm just gonna name him Robert. His name is Robert. Okay, that's one of his victims. He was getting off work at the pharmacy. But let me back up because let us explain to you when we say we honestly think that he made this interview for the sake of wanting to show the world, look, I'm an innocent guy. I'm not the person that they think I am. Not what they are painting me out to be in the press or in these newspapers or in the books or movies. I I have to say that when he was in that rehabilitation prison, this guy became the head chef.
Mm-hmm.
Everybody knew him. Everybody liked him. Everybody went to him for everything. Hell, he was best friends with the fucking warden.
Mm-hmm.
On top of what did he bring into the facility? And got it for free for a
Oh,
tax write off.
the golf course, the mini golf course
There is a mini golf course thanks to John Wayne Gacy at this prison.
in front
In
of it.
in front of it. In front of it. What was it? He heard about.
A guy needing it, his mini golf course was shutting down, and he couldn't afford to do the upkeep on it and everything, or get rid of it. So John Wayne Gacy gets a hold of this guy and tells him, "Oh, well, you could just give it to the prison and
As a
use
tax
that
write
as a
off.
tax write off." And the guy was like, "Oh, okay, cool.
And
Here
the
you go."
warden okays it. Like,
Not only did the warden okay it, but he sent prisoners out to go get the stuff and
exactly.
set it up.
So
And
they
they're the ones that take care of it.
exactly, and it's so funny. John Wayne Gacy really knew how to play the system. He knew how to get things done. He knew how to be organized. He knew how to set goals and meet them.
He was definitely a businessman.
He definitely was.
And definitely a politician.
Oh yeah. Oh,
Crooked
and
as they come.
oh yeah. And before he was even convicted of this sodomy charge to a child, he was actually married to the heiress of KFC.
Not of KFC, of the KFC franchise in Illinois.
But she was still an heiress of KFC.
Well, yeah. I mean, her dad owned the buildings. He didn't actually own KFC itself.
He owned parts of KFC.
Right.
She is still an heiress.
Right.
Yeah, just like Hamptons, they own the building and the name in different towns.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's kind of the same thing a little bit there. So let's just leave it at that.
Okay.
But yeah. But anyways, I thought that was really cool. I honestly laughed. I thought it was hilarious.
It was.
That he was actually married to one of the heiresses that was going to be over these KFCs in his area. In Chicago, was it Chicago?
Yeah, Chicago, Illinois.
In Chicago. And his father-in-law was actually teaching him how to do all this stuff.
Yeah, until his father-in-law found out that he was...
No, that was after all that happened. All that before he got arrested.
Right.
Then when he got arrested and it was actually brought out that that was happening, he couldn't wait to get his daughter away from him.
Mm-hmm.
And sweep this under the rug like, no, she never, no.
No, we don't know him.
Exactly.
Never heard of him. Who is he?
But after he did all this great things for, the rehabilitation center and everything, he got released and went straight back to Chicago and moved in with his mom. Started his own business.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, I don't remember the name. I didn't write it down.
PDM.
PDM.
PDM Construction.
Which stands for?
I don't remember.
Paint
Something about wallpaper and
paint, demolition, and remodeling or modeling or something like that.
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. But he started that and he
painting, decorating, and still don't remember it.
It's got to be in my notes somewhere. But he had that business going pretty good for a while, and he was basically only doing pharmacies at the time. And yes, pharmacies was really big back in the what was that
70s and 80s, or no,
late
60s.
60s through the 80s.
No, because he got arrested in 78.
No, that's when the first body was found.
Yeah, so he was already in prison by then.
No, he was not.
When the first body was found? Yes.
No, he was not. No, he was not. They had him detained. But you're jumping ahead there. You're jumping ahead. No. He was not in prison by then. No. It's just when the first body was found was in December of 1978. But the reason why that first body was there, which is what I was leading up to, because there's so much in this first episode. It's mind blowing. Like I said, I had to take notes on that one because it was just so much.
Yeah.
But he was in remodeling pharmacies. His workers started at 16 up to 20 year old boys, is mainly boys.
Mm-hmm.
The reason why he said he hired boys was because
because he could teach them the way that he wanted them to be taught, which wasn't the case. But I mean,
no, you can mold them at 17,
right,
15,
but
16,
that's
17.
not all he was molding them for.
A lot of them he did keep. Um, Now see, that's not answered as honestly either, because a lot of the times, if you actually paid attention and watched the episodes, they do keep saying that he was telling them, "Oh, I will give you a job, or come over to my house and we can get drunk or high or whatever." And yes, he came up with drugs for these kids back in the
Yeah.
late what 60s, early 70s. I mean, it was everywhere. Drugs were everywhere back then.
All right. Hell, in Chicago, it still are.
Probably, I don't know. I've never been, but once he got his business established, and he had a few good crewmen, but he was always recruiting. He was always looking. And when I say looking, it's more like that's where his hunting ground was. It's like,
Right.
look, these are the people I have. They've been here forever. You have to have that established team of, hey, they've been with me the longest.
Right.
Here's what's up. And I will hire you for these pharmacies and to help do this and help do that. Just come fill in an application. Well, his last victim was, I honestly think it was his undoing, because of the simple fact it was a 15-year-old boy. The boy was working at one of the pharmacies that he had remodeled, and he had visited. It was
That
said
he
that
was
he,
gonna remodel. He hadn't done it yet.
was he,
He was supposed to be talking to the store manager
ah, okay,
that
my
night.
bad. But his name was Robert, and he had just gotten off work, and Gacy had approached him beforehand, before he'd gotten off work. And he told his mom, "Well, I'm going to talk to this guy after work, about, another job, a remodeling job, or just construction." It was construction. He
Hmm.
said, "Construction guy. He's going to talk about hiring me, just fill out an application and,
So
do
I'll
an
be right back. Because his
interview,
mom was parked in front of the pharmacy
waiting on
waiting for
him."
him to be off work.
Well,
And
that's,
then he just kind of disappeared.
oh, yeah. He was gone. There was no, there was no seeing that boy again. And the mom was frantic. But, okay.
Well, I mean, wouldn't you be?
I would be. Believe me, yes, I would. Believe me, I would have been like, you know what? I'm going with you. I'm gonna go meet this guy because I want to know who my kids are working for, especially if you're 15. If you're 18, okay, I can't really do much about it, but you're still underneath my roof. You're this old. I am going with you. But that sets up the next stage. Okay, this doesn't tell you about all the stuff that he's done for the community. Uh, he
Honestly,
played a lot of big events in Chicago.
right. Honestly, the things that he said that are glorifying him weren't really what interested me. The fact that he was doing this whole, ooh, look at me, look how good I did for other people, that just wasn't really a big topic for me.
I actually liked how he made himself into the spotlight. Like, come on, he dressed up as Pogo the Clown and did children's parties. Was like, ooh, that's my next victim when they get to certain ages. I mean, think about it. Think
Right.
about it. He was grooming these people, these kids. I mean, he groomed an entire fucking town, damn
Right.
near, to making them
And
think that he was this big, amazing, could do no wrong guy, and that when shit actually hit the fan, they thought I guarantee you, this man thought that that these people were gonna come to his rescue and
mhm,
say, no, this is bullshit, blah blah blah
he
blah
couldn't have done
blah.
this.
Exactly. And I will say that the more I was listening to, let's see, we got up to what, 3 episodes, and they're really long episodes. First one's about 45 minutes long. The second one I think is about, oh, 50
50.
minutes long, somewhere in there, and the third one they're long, but there's a lot of information in there too.
There is.
But what gets me about him the most, and like I said, watching these 3 episodes, he really had me and all the evidence, like all the evidence that they found. Okay, so they found a high school ring.
Mm-hmm.
They found a receipt for a fuck, what is that?
Photos.
Film
Yeah.
development. And what was the other thing?
Um. Oh, I can't remember.
Mainly just the ring and the photograph.
But the one that got me was whenever they found when they couldn't find the guy's car.
Okay, well that one's in
Yeah.
another episode.
Uh,
That one's in another episode. We're not going into that because we're 20 minutes in. I want to try to make sure that we get the first episode down
right.
because we want to be able to have more content for you guys. So we're kind of stretching these out a little bit. Um, but what got me the most about watching all three of these episodes was the fact that what little evidence they had on him, and they put squad cars out in front to do all this to try to catch him fuck up. It was like, you're looking for a diamond in the rough. Y'all
Mm-hmm.
can't even put together
Needle in a
why.
haystack.
Right, y'all can't even put together why he would have this class ring that doesn't even belong to him.
With the
And
initials of someone who may or may not have disappeared.
And see, they didn't even know that either. Because the first search warrant was just to see if Robert was even in his home. He wasn't. He wasn't. They found all this evidence whenever they did the first search warrant. And I don't remember when the first search warrant was actually there.
I don't remember.
Second, no, I don't remember. I thought I wrote it down. It was a big date, but it didn't really say. He also has two kids. He's a father of two kids. But they never really say if it's male or female, if it's two boys.
Two girls.
Is it two girls?
Yes.
I thought that was his stepdaughters. They didn't say
Oh,
about his kids.
right. They really didn't.
And he did end up marrying, before all this happened, he did end up marrying a woman with two kids. Um, he did move his mother into the home with them. Or he was going to. No, 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 no. He married. The woman had two daughters. He moved in his mother-in-law and he moved in his mother. His mother said after a little while, "This is too much. I'm going to go live. I need to be in my own space. This is too much."
Mm-hmm.
So Ed
Moved her
found
into his
her an
apartment.
apartment and he helped maintain the apartment. He was her caretaker. And I'm with the sister. I think Mama knew.
Oh yeah, definitely.
You can't tell me, if you're a mom, you can't tell me you don't know what the hell your kids are up to or what they're like, because there's signs. You
Mm-hmm.
can kind of tell. You know when something's wrong. You know when something ain't right. You know. Even when stuff's going good, you know. You can't argue with that shit.
right.
You can't. I'm sorry. But yeah, I mean, he had that, but the woman didn't like all of the outings and
The leaving
late
late at night,
leaving late at night.
and then there was the smell.
Oh yeah, the smell of the house. Oh my gosh. They didn't even touch the smell of the house yet. But they had moved into this house when it was on. I do have the address written down there. I know I do.
First page.
Is it on the front page?
Yep.
Let's see. His house on 8213 West Summerdale
Yep.
Avenue. It no longer stands. Let me put it before you guys are like, "Ooh, let's go see this house." You can't even Google it because the
Well, I mean, the address still
the
exists.
address is still there, yes, but the house is not there. That's what I'm saying. You
No.
cannot Google and see the Ed Gein or not Ed Gein, excuse me, John Wayne Gacy house because I believe they said it was a fire.
No, they had to tear it down.
Did they really?
They ended up tearing it down.
I thought there was a fire. But I mean, they tore apart the
No, that
entire.
that, that was the Ed Gein house.
Oh yeah, that one was on fire. But this is why we have notes, people. This is why you take your notes. But anyways, yeah. But you can't. I really wanted to go see it, and that address, that house that is there, is actually up for sale. I kind of want to know if it's haunted, though. I do want to know
Oh,
if
it's definitely gonna be haunted.
I do want to know if that property is haunted, though. No, not all everything, not everything, because they did find all the bodies. They did match a lot of the bodies two missing victims and get them laid to rest
And
properly. So
in
that doesn't mean that it is haunted.
and in the house there was only 29 bodies.
No, there was 33.
No, there was 29. Remember, because he said there was
No,
27 under the house, one under the garage, and one under the uh driveway.
still on the property.
Yeah,
Still on the property.
that's
But
29.
that does not cover all the ones that we don't know anything about. There's a lot of them that when he did run out of room in the crawl space, just like he stated with Robert, Robert's body was actually tossed into the river. He actually, yes, he threw Robert's body into the river because he didn't have any more room in the crawl space, and that he did have
You're going
two.
on to the other episodes, though.
Yes, but I'm just saying this has to do with Robert. Robert is in this first episode.
Right.
Okay, that's just what I'm saying. But because his last victim was Robert, there you go. And then into okay, that was the one they were talking about the prison. Yeah, but the smell of the house, he actually asked who? Do you remember what person or what the business was that he asked about
Um.
the
Oh, it
smell?
was the city. He has the city and a plumber.
I thought it was just a plumber because he was
Well, he had to make it look good.
yeah, because he was blaming the smell on busted pipes or something like that. Was it busted pipes?
Old pipes.
Hmm. So yeah, she kept telling him, "Oh well, some stuff's dead underneath there, stinks." So she just got tired of that. And he put down lime.
Yeah,
He
he
actually
covered
put
the entire crawl space in
in
lime.
lime to try to mask the smell.
He said it was like, what was it, 700 or 800 pounds
Pounds, yeah.
of lime.
And what's funny is this guy also he rubbed elbows with all these big people.
Mm-hmm.
Like who was the one that the Secret Service is like, how did he even get past security? How is he
Um,
even taking pictures with this
the
woman?
first lady
The first lady.
of I forget who it was.
But she was the first lady either way. And he was like, how is that? And he did want to run for office. Uh it was just crazy how much he really wanted to put his footprint, carbon print into society
Mm-hmm.
in a more pristine found way. And he also admitted to being bisexual. He's not gay. He's bisexual. Yeah,
I
okay,
still don't
whatever.
think
Um,
you'll either take one in the anyway. I'm just gonna end it there because it's gonna get bad. uh, but
I gave you a topic to run with, but I was
there's not
looking to
a
make sure
whole
that
lot
we
to say
actually
with that.
had covered everything. I was trying to get my co-host to talk more, but even after looking over the notes, he just kind of fell flat, and I feel like I'm taking over over the podcast. Yeah, we did cover the fact that they did look over his house. They did not find the missing teen in the house, but out found found a lot of things out of the normal, which of course was the ring that we talked about and in the receipt from the pharmacy. Gacy even told the cops. The after that, the cops actually surveyed him. They did surveillance on him. He got to the point where he's like, just so they didn't get lost.
Oh yeah.
Gacy went out there and told them where he was going because he didn't want them to get lost. He had coffee with them. He bought them breakfast. He
Uh huh.
invited them in. He made dinner for them.
Yeah. That's what really.
That's what really got a lot of things. Before he made dinner for them, he actually took them out and they would go to he would go to bars and they would follow him and he'd buy them drinks and stuff like that. Yeah, Gacy got the cops beer, which is funny.
But
And he
it's
started
whenever
also started having just light conversations and trying to be best friends with the cops, which is
right.
really weird.
But the part that really got him was whenever he invited the two cops to dinner at his house.
And that's where the second warrant comes in, and that's where everything starts getting interesting. And we're almost at the end of episode 1. The second warrant was gotten by the class ring and the receipt for film in the trash in Gacy's house. That, and also, I mean, because they're like, well, we can't just go off a smell. The cop was like, it smelled like a morgue. It smelled like
Right.
death. Like they knew that smell, and it was just overwhelming. And that's when he's like, wait a minute, we got to do this. So what got them that second warrant to look in Gacy's house was actually the film in the ring.
Hmm.
They
Because the receipt for the film was found in was in Robert Peast's
jacket
jacket pocket.
pocket. Yes, and we'll get into that one more. There's more about the jacket in the second episode, but that's going to be in a second part podcast for this uh Gacy. Um,
Documentary.
there you go. Yeah, that the receipt, like you said, was for the pocket of the missing boy. Um, and he was having dinner with them. The cop said it smelled like the city morgue. That's what it was, and that's where we're gonna stop this one because we actually did really good. We're at 31 minutes. I know you guys don't care about the time, but we're just trying to make sure that we do enough for y'all and y'all have enough to be entertained with. But in a nutshell, I mean, if you enjoy uh, true crime and stuff like that, we'll definitely try to get more of those on here for you. We'll find more documentaries, whatever you guys are wanting. We're kind of doing ones that we like we're interested in. Like we grew up with Ed Gein and the John Gacy cases and the um
Jeffrey Dahmer.
Jeffrey Dahmer and oh, what is the my favorite one, the cult one.
Uh,
Um
Ghostbusters?
Manson was one of my favorite ones. Not because of, everything, not because of the tragedies that came along with that. Don't get that twisted. It's the fact of just how these people can be out in society like Gacy. Okay? Look at all the stuff that he did. Look at all the
He was a politician, a business owner, Pogo the freaking clown,
an artist. He painted.
right?
I mean, it's just amazing that those ordinary people can have these dark,
Yeah.
unseen, un
Murderous tendencies.
yeah. I mean, I'm sure there's people out in the world that have thought, oh my god, I really want to kill my neighbor because they let their dog shit on my lawn. But that doesn't mean we're gonna act on it. Like,
And
oh, I'd really like to shoot my daughter's boyfriend because blah 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 blah, or my son's girlfriend, blah 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 blah. Not that we would do it. It's just it's out of anger. It's not out of we're gonna go and do it. These people actually did it.
these people contemplate it, and instead of being out of anger, they're just like, you know what?
I'm bored. Let's do
I wonder
this.
what it'd be like to,
And some of
hold
them
a
didn't even
person's
think
head
about
under
it
the
at all. It
water.
just happened.
It
Some
true.
of them didn't even think about it at all. It just happened.
Gacy was not one of those though.
Gacy definitely was not one of those so far, but I do like how the fact of he is just not anywhere. There's no remorse. There is no.
No, he still thinks he did nothing wrong.
Yeah, he thinks, oh, well, yeah, they were,
Well,
whatever.
it happened, but look at all this other stuff that I did.
Exactly. He doesn't.
I did good things. I deserve to be let out.
I deserve to be happy and have my, crawl space of dead bodies. But yeah.
They're just my trophies. It's just another day. I mean,
Yeah, just let me go and,
I ended their life. Let me live mine.
exactly. But I think this is where we're going to end this episode. And I hope you guys enjoyed it. Again, I'm Catalina. This is Captain Spaulding. And this was another episode of On the Line Talk. And this is over the John Wayne Gacy documentary entitled Devil in Disguise. So,
Like and subscribe.
and share. Good night, everybody.